Welcome to Wealth Made Simple with Shaz, where you'll learn how to master your money through business, property, and tax-saving strategies. Your host has collectively helped his clients make tens of millions of pounds in additional profits through these strategic approaches to business. Introducing Shaz Nawaz, an award-winning chartered accountant, property tax expert, entrepreneur, and property investor.
This week on Wealth Made Simple, I'm going to talk about starting a property business or starting a business in general, and sort of things that, in line with the show, talking about, wealth, property development, business, entrepreneurship, talking about where to go from the start. Because a lot of the time we talk about these big property or big business ideas, and they're not necessarily beginner friendly. Some of them are, but in general it's not always beginner friendly. So this week we are going to do beginner friendly on Wealth Made Simple. As always, anything I say is just my own opinion. It's just from what I've learnt, my experiences. None of it is investment advice, financial advice, or any advice of that nature. I'm not authorized or qualified to do anything like that. So if you disagree with me, feel free, get in touch, tell me you disagree with me. Or if you agree with me, feel free to get in touch. But in general, like I say, it's all just my opinion. So if you want any actual advice on any of the subjects that I cover, go and seek them out from someone who is authorized to do so. And without further ado, on Wealth Made Simple, getting started in business. A lot of people have a lot of good business ideas, and throughout their life they'll have a couple of good business ideas, but they won't necessarily put them into practice. They won't put them into play. 101 reasons. They can be, analysis paralysis, procrastination station. I could do this, and suddenly overwhelm, and then you do nothing. And other people go, "Oh, that's a really good business. That would be a really good idea. I'm not qualified. I'm not educated. I'm not." And the self-doubt kicks in, and they do nothing. And again, and other people come up with some ideas and just plain don't want to. Getting into business and starting a business, being an entrepreneur, is a lot of work. It's not. Everyone likes to think that and reference the overnight successes, and I say overnight successes in inverted commas, because no one is an overnight success. They're all 20-year successes, 30-year successes, or even longer. People don't just become successful overnight, short of doing something like winning the lottery. If you play the lottery, I don't. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. But I do not play the lottery, but I know a lot of people that do, and their chances of winning are very, very low. But if they win, they'll be considered an overnight success. But that's about the only way I can think of where you will be wildly wealthy and successful in a single night. Other than that, it's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of strategizing, a lot of planning, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of stepping forward on the road. The first thing to do is decide you want to start. Just decide you want to start. And that sounds really obvious. And I'm sure you're at home going, well, of course you need to start. Everything's got to start somewhere. And yeah, it does. But a lot of people never decide to start. They talk and never actually do anything. They never actively go out and start something. So that would be the first thing I would say in, whether it's in property or whether it's in any other business sector. Decide to start. Once you've decided to start and you can start taking action, define your goals, define what strategies you're looking to utilize, before diving in. Clarify what goals and what objectives you have. What do you want to achieve out of this? Because getting into business, it's got to be, in my opinion, it's got to be something you love. It's got to be something you're going to enjoy doing, because you're going to be at this a long time. You can't just do it and hope for the best, and you can't just go into it with your eyes half closed and a little bit wishy-washy, without any form of idea of where you want it to end up or how much you're going to enjoy doing it. Because there are 101 ways of making money out there, but I only really like 3 or 4 of them, I'll be honest. And some of the things that I study, I look into, I learn, are not necessarily about making money. They're great for my soul, they're great for my learning, they're great for my education, but I have no interest in monetizing them. And in today's day and age, in today's world, everything has the potential to be monetized. I do truly believe that. But not everything should be monetized. Not everything that I do, I want to monetize. I like watching, a lot of content on various streaming platforms, and some of that, I could use those learnings to monetize something. And I'd rather just do that as a hobby, and that's a choice. But it's a educated, informed choice. It's an informed decision. I know that I could monetize whatever it is that I'm learning, that I'm watching, that I'm taking information from, and put it to use somewhere else, or involve it in something else, or collaborate with. But I'm choosing not to. So that is a choice. Because I've got my clearly defined goals and strategies about where I want my life to lead, how I want to do it, how I want to structure it. So that's what I mean by define your goals and your strategy. Something that aligns with you as a person, that you can wake up and go to day in, day out. Not necessarily just a job that you go to because you need money. Something that you can enjoy doing. Once you've defined your goal, define what strategy you're going to use to get there. So depending on which business you go into, it will depend on which strategy you choose. If you're going into property, then, and I'm sure this is true of other businesses, but since I'm not as well versed in other businesses, I'm going to talk about property. If I decide that I'm going to go into property, that is my strategy. Okay, now let's dive one level deeper. Which property strategy am I now going to use? Because obviously you've got buy-to-lets, buy-to-rent, rent-to-rent, deal sourcing, commercial conversions, lease option agreement. There are a lot of different property investment, property business strategies that have the potential to be implemented. So, dig deep when you're doing this first thought about what it is and where you want to go. Because the deeper you do this first initial bit, the more refined you get, the more niche you get, the easier it is to follow that path, because you lose all the other noise around you. So once you've made that decision, you've just defined your goals, defined what your life wants to look like. It's almost like starting at the end before you get to the beginning. I know, I'm aware of how that sounded, but it's true. Think about where you want to be, and then we'll work out how we're going to get you there. And now you've got your goals, you've got your strategy, you know which sector you want to be in, you know which strategy you want to be utilizing, and then conduct research on that. Do your research, do your due diligence. We say this all the time, but understand the local market that you are getting into, understanding where it is from you. Are you entering a global market? Are you entering a niche market that's very local and situational? Are you entering a market that is more yearly based? In Peterborough, there's a Christmas shop that pops up around Christmas. Shocking, I know, but that's a very niche time of year. You don't go out looking to buy Easter eggs you might, but in general, people don't go out looking to buy large amounts of chocolate for Easter in September. They wait until Easter, things like that. So this is where doing thorough research really, really will pay dividends, because it will give you more of an understanding and a deeper niche knowledge of what it is you're getting into. So it'll also tell you to a degree, what's going to work and what's not going to work, because very, very few of us, and I include myself in this, are ever going to start a business, do a business, run a business, own a business, profit from a business, employ people for a business that hasn't been done before. Let that sink in for a second. Everything you are planning on doing, everywhere you want to go, every goal you want to achieve, I can almost guarantee, I say almost because, nothing's definitive, but 99.9% sure that somebody will have done it before. This will not be the first time. And if it's not the first time, why do all the heavy lifting yourself? This is where research really, really does pay dividends, because you can then look at I was going to say company X, but I guess that's Twitter now, so we won't use that as an example. But company A, B, C, D, E, whichever other letter of the alphabet you want to use, generic company number 1204. If you look at that company, see what they're doing, see what their marketing is, see what their sites like Glassdoor, see what they like to work for, see what their website's like, what their email chain's like. Sign up to their newsletter, see what comes through. That will give you a good indication. Go on Company's House, etc., things like that. That will give you a good indication as to what you should be doing to make your version of, in that industry, your company in that same industry, successful. And what not to do. And, go to places like YouTube. YouTube has more knowledge on it than most universities. Not all of that knowledge is accurate. Most university knowledge that is taught is accurate. So, take things with a pinch of salt, understand where they're coming from, make sure that you are getting through to the right information rather than the wrong information. But once you've got that information, you're going into what it is you want to do with your eyes wide open. You know what the potential risks are. You know what the potential flaws are. So now you've done your thorough market research, you can now create, and this is where we're starting to actually do something physical, something proactive, and that's create your business plan. And like I said earlier, all these sorts of things are things that need to be done in depth and as detailed as you can to begin with, because things will change as you go along. I promise you they will. But the more detail you have to begin with, the more you can rely on that later on. So do your words. I'm doing good with the words this evening. Create your business plan. Develop a comprehensive business plan that outlines your objectives, your financial projections, your marketing strategies, your operational processes, and your roadmap for the next year, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Because then you'll have that roadmap to fall back on later on. And it'll serve as a valuable. If you do all of this up front, you're not going to be chasing your tail. You're not going to be running around trying to build processes later on. And as Shaz has said previously, the process of building processes into your businesses is a lot easier if you start with them. And processes are so important because then your business is process driven rather than person driven, which makes exiting it. We did a whole episode on exit planning. Makes exiting a lot easier because without you, your business is still something. There is still something to sell. There's the processes and the way you conduct business, the way you operate, all of that can be systematized and processized, and so it's therefore sellable. So now you've got your business plan done.
I can interact with the chat right now. It will absolutely fit with whatever topic I'm talking about, because the chat is live and I will always come back to you. Thank you for getting in touch. It's good to know that I've got at least one listener. Thank you very much. But yeah, going back to starting the business, once you've created your business plan, you now know your financials. Key point here, you know how much you need to get started. You know how much you need to continue. You know how much the upfront costs are. You know what the costs are going to be to develop further. Because you've got that now 6-month plan, 1-year plan, 3, so on. Suddenly, all of these other things that you're going to have to do, whether you like it or not, these are the things you have to do to start a business, are so much easier, because part of it is already done. So you've done the heavy lifting. Now comes, I say, the easy bit. Nothing's ever that easy, but so now you can look at how much funding you need. Do you need to go to a bank and get startup capital? Do you need to go to friends, joint venture partners, whatever, to get whatever capital do you need? Or do you have savings? Or is that first section up to developing your business plan all going to be done on the assumption that you look at that and you go, okay, I now need this amount to get started. Excellent, time to start saving. It gives you a good place and a good position to start from. So now let's assume that you've started, you've got enough money to start your business, everything's going well, you've taken off. Now's the time to, when you're looking at all of these sorts of things, start building a reliable team around you. The people that have a similar vision to you, people that you think you can work with, people that are going to be on your team, that are going to be part of your team, that are going to be associated with your business, with your company, things like that. Selecting people with the right competencies, people who are good at the things you're not so good at, because be self-critical, be self-analytical. You're not good at everything. I mean, you might be. I might be judging you harshly. If I am, I'm sorry. If you're good at everything, I take it all back. There are those people out there. But I've yet to meet someone who is really, really good at absolutely everything. That's just my experience. I know I'm not good at everything. But the things I am good at, I am very good at. At least I like to think so. I'm probably not as good as I think I am, but hey-ho. Absolutely. Starting a business is way better when you have the people around that can help you. They motivate you and keep you going. Absolutely true. So true. And that's the other thing. Going solo is hard work. It's far easier to get up in the morning and go somewhere knowing that you've got to go somewhere to be with someone to do that thing, rather than to go somewhere and push yourself alone and then do it alone. Alone's not fun. Alone is never fun. I mean, if that's the way you want to do it, again, not judging, but it's far easier having the right people around you, having the people that can do the things you don't want to do. I'm not very good with. I'm not an accountant. I'm not good with accountancy style spreadsheets. That's not my forte. Shaz, on the other hand, well, that's his bread and butter. So yeah, why would I do that stuff when I have Shaz right next to me in the office? That just why? I don't need to. I've got a good colleague, a good mentor, a good leader next to me who can push me to do my stuff better, who can push me to improve at my stuff and do the stuff that I'm good at better, and leave him to do the stuff that he's good at better. Because, Shaz, for all his great qualities, isn't good at everything. So some of the stuff that I'm good at that he's not so good at, he leaves to me, and he just lets me do it because he trusts that I'm good at it, because we create a good team together. And that's what I mean by building a reliable team around you. And you can start that before you start your business, before you start looking at money. you know who's good around you, because these are the people that you will talk with about starting your business. These are the people that will engage with you about starting a business. These are the people that want you to succeed, and you'll know who they are very, very quickly. So once you've built your reliable team, choose the right property. If you're going into property, caveat, choose the right properties that align with your strategy. So, and that's true if you want to extrapolate that out into business in general. Choose the right things that you need to buy for the business that align with the strategy that you are doing for the business. If you're selling a service, make sure that you've got your service on point. Sorry, I can't talk and read at the same time. I'm sorry, Treja.
No, you're absolutely right. There is no such thing as being perfect at something. I'm always striving to improve at everything that I do. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I fail. Sometimes I do look back and go, and you thought you were good at that? Wow. Ooh, this is awkward. You said you were good 2 years ago. Got news for you. The world's moved on. You're not as good as you thought you were. But I can be self-critical, so it's fine. But yeah, once you've chosen, if you're selling a service, the right marketing, choose the right strategies to get your product from point A to point B to the customer. And that leads us nicely on to the next stage, which is develop your marketing strategy. In my opinion, most businesses live and die on their marketing. And let me explain that a little bit further, because some people go, no, I've got a really good product. Yeah. But if you've got a really good product and nobody hears about it, have you got a product at all? Because it's not something, because nobody knows it exists. If you saturate the market and all anyone ever sees is your thing, your product, and they get annoyed with you, then they're not going to buy your product on principle, because this guy's everywhere. I want to. So there is a balance between not being known and being known too well. Until you get into the likes of mega corporation size businesses where you are a household name, but you do less marketing. Because you're a household name, you can do less marketing. And then, so decide on your marketing strategy. Are you email marketing? Are you adverts on YouTube? Are you adverts on Google? Are you just going to try organic to begin with? Are you going to advertise on the social media platforms? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, any of the above? X. Sorry, not Twitter, X. See what works. And I would say try everything. Try everything for a little bit, and don't just try it like a flash in the pan. I tried that once, it didn't work. Try it, actually give it a try, Look at the data, the analytics, understand what it is, learn what it is you need to look at, if we're going to talk, email marketing campaigns, for example, what the open rate is, what the read rate is, what the return rate is, what the response rate is. All of these things can feed you data, so you can then tweak, alter, change until you find something that works. Or you go, okay, that's working. We can put that in the process file now, and that is the process we do for that. Let's systemize that. Now let's work on video advertising, TV advertising, social media advertising, direct mail campaigns, any of those sorts of things. And that will give you, a good insight into starting your business well, and then just focus on not just your business side of it. How are you going to be with customers? How is your customer service going to be? And I would say customers should always come first. They are the lifeblood, courtesy of the marketing team, and that will bring it all together so that you've got something to work with from the start. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take a long time, but in general, it can be super rewarding, and it can mean that you can go into and do exactly what you want to do
for the rest of your life.
Thanks for listening to Wealth Made Simple. You can follow and contact Shaz on the Facebook pages Entrust Property Tax and The Profits Wizard. You can also find Shaz on LinkedIn, YouTube and Instagram. Alternatively, email him at shaz@aa-accountants.co.uk. Build your wealth by mastering money.